Disclaimer: I am a law student, and the legal information provided is not legal advice. For that, please hire an attorney. Hello there.
Hi.
Hey, what's happening?
So, I just found out about about this oh gosh, I can hear myself through your stream. Let me mute you.
Oh yeah, no, you're good.
Um so I found this channel. I was playing ESO and I saw that it was looking at election polls,
Oh
and I saw
shit. Oh,
that it
you were playing
was
ESO?
yeah, I was just looking around Twitch, and that's how I
Oh,
stumbled upon your channel.
damn. All right.
Um
Hey, you know what? If it works, it works. I never actually expect to get anyone, like to that's interested in like political content or whatnot through there. I just enjoy playing ESO. Um,
yeah,
yeah. All right. Damn, that's chill. Yeah. So hey, I guess it. Hey, it happens to work out. So yeah, what's
yeah.
happening?
So I'm a 23-year-old Trump supporter who's also transgender. I haven't gone through any hormone replacements because I'm broke.
Okay.
Um, but basically, my family has supported Trump for a long time, and one of the things we always agree with is usually how he handles, um, or not really handle, I suppose, pushing away a lot of the healthcare policies because they messed us up bad.
Okay.
Um,
What do
we
you mean they messed
lost
you up bad?
we lost our basically one of our properties, because we didn't have insurance, and I don't remember because it wasn't my property,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I was pretty young when it happened, or I was 16,
Mm-hmm.
and basically we were out of the home and had to go to an apartment and basically we had to go into our retirement fund and get money so that we can get insurance.
Okay.
Um, and the Health Care Act has messed up a lot of my family friends and some of my own friends.
Well,
Um,
like how?
so a lot of the time, they would put fees. I think I don't remember, mainly because I was 16, and a lot of this stuff has flew by me. But I'm thinking that it was something to do with them not in having insurance, and it was adding up on fees. They also had trouble with taxes. One of my friends was um, mentally disabled and wasn't able to do her taxes without help, and
Mm-hmm.
missed one of those. Couldn't pay the insurance because of that, and got a fee.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll have to talk to some of them.
Yeah. So I mean,
And
basically, or sorry, go on.
oh, so that's basically why I support Trump. A lot of the things about trans issues haven't really affected me, so I don't really notice them. Mainly the military one. And did you say something about homeless shelters?
Yeah. So basically, he's also been instituting a rule. So like a couple things, right? Insofar as they specifically affect trans people, there's been a lot of like speculation, and there have been leaked documents about things that he plans on doing, but that he doesn't do, so or that he hasn't been able to do yet. So I don't focus on them as much. Things which he has done, which has like it's demonstrable, like it's policy that's in place now, or is currently being implemented. The homeless shelter one, like he's proposed basically laws which would give homeless shelters the ability to be able to discriminate against trans people or people on the basis of their gender identity. It even goes so far, like the proposed rules would like basically give homeless shelters like a how-to guide of how to spot a trans person, going as far as to be like, hey, if you have a woman who has like an Adam's apple and stubbly beard, well that might be a trans, and you might want to turn them away, right? Like it's really, really shady shit, you know? And then as
Oh
far as
wow.
yeah, I know, right? And then
Um,
there's the military ban, and I assume you know about that. Most people know about that, and then yeah, then the
yeah.
healthcare bit where and again, like if you want me to walk you through it, like I am also a law student, and I specifically this summer was able to attend a conference where I spoke with one of the members of the LGBT bar's board of directors. Super knowledgeable person, also a trans guy, like has done massive amounts of impact litigation and work for LGBT rights, and basically explained to me exactly what happened with what Trump did with trans healthcare specifically. And you may have read the Blair White article, or like watched her video. I know that you mentioned that in chat.
Yeah.
So we actually went through that. Her argument is that in 2016 there was a court ruling which enjoined the NHS's rule put in place by the Obama administration, providing healthcare protections to trans people on the basis of their gender identity, right? So her argument was that, oh, well, the court enjoined this rule, so we never actually had this protection to begin with. That's not right, because what the ruling did was it enjoined the ability for the NHS, the National Health Association, or the National Health Service, to be able to bring those claims, but that only enjoined the NHS, right? We, as individual plaintiffs bringing suits under this rule, could still bring lawsuits. But now that the Trump administration changed the rule, now we can't, because he took that away from us, right? Like, yes, there was an enjoining, and yes, it prevented the NHS from being able to bring those claims, but we still had those protections until Trump took them away, right? So that's the line of the law. So, like, I mean, like, it's not necessarily surprising she got it wrong. I mean, like, I wish, I don't know, it's something that I've covered Blair a couple times on my channel. Like, she gets things wrong. Like, you may have heard about, like, the whole Janae Kroc thing, which she came out and apologized for, and all of that. Like, there's been a couple times where she's been pretty seriously wrong, but that was one where, like, she got the law, like, completely wrong.
Yeah, I don't support Blair White. I was just mentioning, just mentioning that she had a video, and it was one of the only videos I saw actually, like, opposing.
Okay.
And usually whenever I say I'm a Trump supporter, that doesn't really mean I would vote for him. I didn't vote for Trump.
Okay.
I just support a lot of, like, policies. Not really. What am I saying? So I support basically a lot of decisions and revamps that he's done, specifically to healthcare.
Okay, so, like, what kind of revamps? Because, I mean, like, and you can forgive me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, whenever I hear him propose healthcare, he always talks about proposing some kind of alternative healthcare plan to the Affordable Healthcare Plan, but he has not proposed a law. So what do you mean
I
when
know
you say
he
you
hasn't.
support? He had, like, I understand. I hear a lot of people say that, like, oh yeah, we love his policies, but I have yet to actually hear a policy from him.
So one of the, let me find, I'm gonna have to find exactly what it's called, because I'm pretty sure he had said it in 2016. I don't think it's a recent one. But I think it was an alternative.
I mean, here, I can ask my chat too, like, hey, if there's anyone who proposed, like, if there's any time that he's proposed an alternative healthcare plan, then I'd love to see it. But I mean, like, he was asked pretty pointedly about it in the debates, and he couldn't give an answer.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the debate, and I thought that was one of the only times, like, I got pretty upset about the military ban, but
well, I mean, like, yeah, it feels kind of weird that they would, like, specifically single out trans people. I don't know about you. I mean, like, I understand that there might be some people look at that, like, and be like, oh, well, that could be justified under, like, some sort of rationale.
It was very offensive whenever it first came about.
Yeah.
But I then kind of thought about what the military standard is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't even let people who have autism or I know maybe they do let people with depression in now, but there's.
I mean, like,
that's what I had thought.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've heard this argument before. The thing is, like, the rationale that they gave when they instituted the ban was that the medical support was too much. And that just kind of seems weird because, I mean, like, if they wanted to make an argument about mental incompetence, first off, there's no real evidence to be able to back that up. I mean, like, this isn't like someone with, like, autism or, like, some other kind of mental disability. I mean, like, according to the DSM-5, it's not even a mental health disorder to be trans, right? And especially if you're, if you want to go as far as to say, like, dysphoria is, like, a mental health disorder, well, even that's, like, treatable with proper mental health medication, right? Or with proper medication and medical intervention, right? But the rationale that they gave was that it was too expensive. Where literally at the time that they made that statement, they spent more on Viagra than on trans healthcare, right? So I don't know. That just kind of seems like a pretty bad argument when it's like, oh yeah, they cost too much. Like, it's just such an overbearing cost on our military, but then they turn around and spend more medication on erectile dysfunction, you know? Like, it ended up coming across much less as like, oh, they have a meaningful, compelling justification to be able to limit like trans people's ability to get into the military. And mind you, like, if there is a compelling argument for it, I think that, you know, that could be a different discussion. But that's not what they did, right? They went with the argument that they're too expensive and costly, which is just kind of laughable to me when you look at like other things that they spend their money on.
Yeah. So the cost thing wasn't what had bugged me. It did feel like at the time, people were being singled out, and a lot of trans people who were already in the military, I'm pretty sure, got booted. I know there's one who was an
I mean, I do know trans people who are still in the military.
Yeah, there was a couple that were booted.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, now people, like, trans people, and I can say this because I have a friend who's a trans guy who's in the Air Force, and he has to be stealth, like, the entirety of the time he's over there, right? Like, he's not able to come out, because if he does, then he's going to be like, he told me that he's going to be dishonorably discharged, which is pretty scary, right? Especially when that's like primarily the source of his income and stability right now, because he's otherwise a student. You know, he's not in a position where he's able to easily transition, and no pun intended, into another career path that can cover his student finances and his expenses. You know. So I mean, yeah, it's a pretty terrible situation to be in. I don't know. I feel like that's something worth considering, right? As far as like determining whether to support Trump. Again, like, I understand, like, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you what you should believe or not, but I mean, like, when you're telling me that, like, oh, well, I mean, like, this, you know, that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I find it just very difficult. Like, I am finding it like very, very difficult to believe that I mean, like, I know that there are trans people out there who genuinely support Donald Trump, right? But these are the things that I think about in response, you know?
Yeah, a lot of the things that I support him for are very contradictory to my own identity, and I'm prepared to talk. I usually don't, because it's been so long I've been in any sort of schooling environment, and that was basically the only time I got questioned.
Yeah.
But I saw this stream and I thought, well, they're talking about politics, and it's kind of going a little boring right now. And I'm a little anxious, and I don't really, I'm not really prepared.
Yeah,
but
yeah, hey, no, you're totally fine. Like, I hope it's apparent that I'm not trying to like put you into a corner or anything.
No. I joined, and I should have prepared something, but I didn't, and now I sound like I do sound a bit dumb, because I was reading the chat, and they're all slamming on me, but that's okay.
Chat, chat, be nice, all right? Listen, they'll listen to me, all right? I'm.
Oh no, I mean, it made me think, and actually bring up a couple of things that I do agree with. I just didn't think about, because I'm stupid. So
hey, you're totally well. Hey, listen, let's talk about. So you said that healthcare was one. So explain this. Like, so if you think that Trump, like, if you're like, remind me. So you said that Trump has like a policy that you like, or like what do you like about Trump related to healthcare? Like, what is it?
I got it confused. It wasn't healthcare. He hasn't actually. I don't think he's actually passed any policies on healthcare, other than trying to either abolish or remake the Affordable Care Act.
Well, yeah, I mean, he said that he wants to get rid of it, and he alludes to the idea that like he has an alternative, but he has yet to date to actually say what that alternative would be. the most that he's given us is that he said that it would cover pre-existing conditions, which the Affordable Care Act already does. So it seems like kind of an irrelevant thing to keep pointing out, or at least that's what he pointed out during the during the debates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. So if it's not healthcare, all right. So what is it?
So border control.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people don't like border control. But basically, I had heard a lot of news about how corrupt the border is and how there's a lot of things going on, specifically trade, and either whether it's drugs or sex trafficking. I heard about sex trafficking a lot, and that is that's really bad.
Yeah. So let me ask
I think,
sorry, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh no. So specifically the ones that were applied in 2017 or signed in 2017.
The ones, what do you mean? Like laws, resolutions?
Border security, immigration enforcement improvements, and protecting the nation from foreign terrorist entry into the United States. But more border security than the protecting the nation from foreign terrorists. That was a big blow up. That was just the 90-day travel ban, I think. That one I didn't really agree with. I could understand a little, but more so securing the border and making sure that there isn't a lot of corruption going down, because it's an American issue, and it's a Mexican and there's one more. It's not EU. It's definitely not EU.
Yeah.
There was another country.
Okay. I mean, we can take them. We can talk about that for a little bit. So the issue is that you want. I'm trying to think of the way they go about this, because there are a couple different angles.
Yeah.
Okay. So first, I want to talk about something that you said specifically. You said that you heard that these issues existed. So, like, where did you get that information from?
So
to the best of your memory.
I'm pretty sure a lot of it was one was Fox, one was ABC, and then the other, because it was a big thing whenever it was a big thing recently. It wasn't so big whenever he first did it. It was talked about a little, but then it was revamped again and on either GMM or ABC, or CNN. But it was basically a big news outlet. They talked about how there was sex trafficking going on at the border, and that's what I was concerned about. I didn't really care about any sort of drug trafficking, more the sex trafficking.
Okay, so there's a couple things to talk about here, right? So first, as like a category, I mean, I guess if you're like getting from news outlets as like the basis for your information, that's a bit better. Most people who usually have opinions about Trump's border policy usually acquire their basis for those fears, especially kind of the fears that you alluded to from like his rallies. A lot of Trump's rhetoric is very not great in regards to people from Mexico. Usually describes them as rapists or drug offenders. And mind you, whenever he does this, he doesn't really have a basis for that, right? Like, it's not like he's citing to any kind of statistic or anything. Like, it's always been just kind of an overgeneralization. And
it's a scare tactic.
Yeah, like that's mainly what it is. And usually,
I know, I understand that.
Yeah, but comparatively, right? A lot of people who come across the border usually are people who are unable to be able to immigrate through legal means, either because of something like prohibition. Like a lot of it will usually come down to the fact that like our immigration system is really, really outdated. Oh, this is really interesting. All right, I'll bring that up. I'll bring that up in a second. Thank you, person in chat. But yeah, so like most of the people who end up immigrating like usually do, or like crossing the border illegally, usually do so not because they're like trying to do like enter into like drug trafficking, or because they're trying to like rape someone or whatever, right? Like there's very minimal statistics on that. Most of them are just trying to get into America because they're trying to escape some kind of degree
Yeah.
of poverty, or they're trying to get into the country and otherwise can't find a way of being able to do so.
Yeah, I really wish. I don't. Has Joe Biden proposed any improvements to how people get into the U.S.? Because I know it's a really long process.
Hold on, we can look it up real quick. Joe Biden immigration policy.
Because I don't think Trump has proposed any improvements. More just constantly pushing it away. That's the one thing that I really don't like. The main thing about Trump is uh, definitely regulation, border control.
I'm looking at, so I just I posted it in chat. I'm looking at Biden's, here, I'll pull it up on my main monitor. This is on Joe Biden's website. The Biden plan for securing our values as a nation of immigrants. It's a moral failing and a national shame when the father and his baby daughter drown in seeking shores, when children are locked away. All right, so there's a lot of platitudes. When President Trump uses family separation as a weapon against desperate mothers, fathers, and children seeking safety and a better life. When he threatens massive raids, that'll break up families. All right, so that's the children in cages. When children die while in custody due to lack of adequate care. Trump has waged an unrelenting assault on our values and lives of history as a nation of immigrants. Let's see. So yeah, so Biden, a lot of this is like very pro-immigration. Today, our immigration system is under greater stress as a direct result of Trump's misguided policies, even as he failed to invest in smarter border technology that would improve our cargo screening. Oh, all right. So there you go. So he would. All right. So there you go. He wants to, invest in cargo screening technology to improve border, protection in that regard. Oh yeah, like he wants to build. Yeah, like this is another really big thing, right? He wants to build a wall. Like, mind you, like the building of the wall hasn't really done a whole lot.
It was a campaign kind of tactic.
Yeah. I mean, like it really, well, like it was trying to keep to his campaign, right? And I mean, like it just hasn't really done anything because as it turns out, I think that he even said it in an interview, right? Like he kind of just realized, like he was talking about, oh, it's a really big wall. No one's going to be able to get over it unless they have a ladder. And then he just kind of stood there and realized, oh fuck, I think I just defeated the whole purpose of my wall.
Well, yeah, the wall was a dumb thing, and I mainly whenever I first heard in 2016, and when it was really talked about, I always thought it was like some kind of weird campaign thing.
Yeah.
I didn't think he would actually go and do it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of what I hear from Trump supporters. Like, oh, he wouldn't actually go and do that. Oh, he's not gonna he's gonna put smart people into his cabinet. He's gonna make people. He's gonna make better decisions. Like all of this campaign rhetoric. He's gonna get away from it. No, he takes what he says seriously, right? I mean, like hell, for the past couple months, he's been basically signaling over and over that like, oh, mail-in ballots aren't actually going to be trustworthy. Oh, the Democrats are going to try and steal the election. And then when the election night comes, literally like what's the first thing that he says is like, oh, well, there you go. We're losing. So it must be the Democrats trying to steal the election. We're going to take this to the Supreme Court that we just packed with a 6-3 majority conservative Supreme Court. Like he takes what he's like, he does what he says he's going to do, which if you want to admire anything about him, he has that. But yeah, as president, Biden will forcefully pursue policies that safeguard our security, provide a fair and just system that will help grow and enhance our economy, and secure our tourist value. So yeah, like he wants a secure border. A lot of the problem with like border immigration nowadays is that like most people who cross the border usually do it as a consequence of like the fact that our immigration system is really fucked up. And they kind of say that a lot of those people are rapists and murderers. I mean, like there's kind of normal people. Like there's kind of people who want to like work and live a decent life.
About people in Mexico?
No, like most of the people who cross the border, because usually it's people who just cross who are unable to like actually go through our let's see, Trump's not actually going to claim victory. Oh yeah. Most of them are people like here's another example. Um, someone sent me this study, and I'm just reading over it right now. Just because, I mean, like, I'm not in a rush. I'm not like trying. I don't know. I'm not like trying to do anything with the conversation.
Oh no, I know you're not trying to like persuade.
Yeah.
Because if you were trying to persuade, you would be saying completely different things. This is more just conversation.
Yeah, we're chilling. So there's someone sent me some study, stricter U.S. border security control increases corruption. Let's see, a new study is linking the United States attempts to enter stricter border control to increase corruption among officers and nation's crossings. Oh yeah, I remember reading about this a bit ago. There's a lot of corruption in like border security officers. Because I mean, like you run into similar issues as you have with like like a lot of police officers, is that like there's not a lot of accountability for what they do. I mean, it's like if they mistreat people who they're interacting with, who are like close to the border, crossing the border, like who are those people gonna go report to? You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's issues. I feel like there's issues on both sides of the border issue.
Oh, interesting.
From
okay. Like what?
So mainly the corruption on our side. There is a lot of issues with police disregarding people who are immigrants, and there are lots of videos online of American border control officers like going way overboard with immigrants and causing a scene that they don't need to. I don't know how to explain it, but basically there was a video of a girl who was from India. It was either in India or Afghanistan, and they like completely like embarrassed her. It was ridiculous. They searched her even though she had like she had her passport, she had gone through the process, and yet they wanted to like search everything she had, even though she's been to the US like multiple times. And that discrimination in the border specifically border control officers, which I think they need a lot of training because there's a lot of discrimination for immigrants, but there's also issues outside that a lot of it comes from when a lot of the like fear tactics and warmongering whenever North Korea was constantly threatening the United States, and then Trump was popping back off, and it was like an exchange.
Wait,
and I feel that I feel like that.
How are we getting to North Korea?
Fear tactics, like
okay, so we're just talking about fear tactics generally
across like over the borders, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it.
Okay, yeah, that's totally. I mean, if we're talking about North Korea, that's cool. It was just a weird shift in my mind.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to.
I mean, like to me, that's more like international relations. Which is, I mean, it was like fine. Like, there's no like hard and fast rule. It was just like confusing for me for a second. But I mean, like, yeah, all right. So I mean, like, so what is the analogy that like the use of fear tactics there was justified then?
No, I don't feel like fear tactics and warmongering over any continent is good. Mainly, what I'm trying to push for is a international umbrella, I suppose. Put everything war and fighting aside, eventually get to a goal where we don't need a military. We just have science, technology, and economy, and have everything nice and perfect, but that will never happen.
Well, I mean, that's like the opposite. Like Trump is an isolationist. He's like, fuck the rest of the world. We're gonna do our own thing, right? Like it's the same mentality that led to like Brexit. It's like, oh yeah, fuck the rest of the UK. We don't need them. We'll do our own thing. It's UK first, baby, right? I mean, it's exactly what Trump does, right? Um, yeah, the chat's like, this sounds like gay space communism.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
saying it. I don't really mean communism. I don't know how to explain it, but it was something off Kyrgyzstan in a nutshell.
okay.
Talking about how if we put all our war aside,
Hmm.
and all our social issues aside, and made everything nice and happy, we could advance in technology, advance ourselves as a species, do
Hmm.
spacefaring eventually, like that kind of stuff. That's what I want, and that's why I don't vote. I just support politicians.
So why do
Um,
you support like Trump over Biden then? Because it sounds like according to that, like categorically, like your views would line up more with Biden. Like just accurate, like what's a distinguishing distinguishing factor for you in their like between the two of them?
so basically, it's all about how they handle their campaign, personality, and what issues they're pushing towards.
Hmm.
And I know that like a lot of the things that I want eventually are very anti-Trump.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't really know how to explain it.
Okay, I
Um,
mean we're not in a race. Um,
no, no, I don't. I've never voted in my life. I don't want to vote. I don't plan on voting. I specifically support based on mainly because I'm actually going to move out of the U.S. eventually. But
okay. Yeah, I
currently,
hear
I'm
a lot of people,
supporting.
yeah, doing that. I'm actually in the
Well,
minority. Like most of my friends are trying to move off to like Denmark or something, which I hear sounds pretty good.
yeah, I want to go to either Greenland or the UK.
Oh yeah, no, I've been over. I actually did a study abroad one summer over in the UK where I studied. It was like public policy and healthcare.
Yeah, I'm
Um, yeah.
doing archaeology. They're not really expeditions because we haven't really gone out because of COVID.
Mhm.
But I really want to get into digging, and we plan on going to the uh, formation. Which one is it? Oh my god, why am I so stupid?
I mean, hey, you're
Fossil.
gonna know
It's
more
a
about it than I do.
so it's a very popular formation, but I just can't think of the name. Um, basically, it was once a great, nice lake and uh, humid tropical kind of area,
Hmm.
and there are a lot of fossils. And we want to go out there, and we're trying to find Spinosaurus parts,
Mm.
and that's what I want to get. That's what I want to do. So that's why I want to move away from the U.S. so that I could either study in which one did I choose? Oh my god, I'm going on such a tangent. We were talking about Trump, now we're talking about dead things.
Yeah, you're totally fine.
Oh my gosh, I'm so unorganized. Next time we talk, I'm gonna have to like bring something.
Yeah, you're all good. Um,
So, Hell Creek Formation. Sorry. Um, and that one, it's in. It is in Montana. Yeah, it's in Montana. And if I were to move either to Greenland or the UK, it would give me a lot more variety in which formations I could go to with my group. Like the Geophyotang formation, which is in I want to say China. Um, but that one has like primitive birds and stuff. And oh my gosh, I'm gonna read the chat so I don't get distracted.
you're all good. Could I ask you a
Somewhat.
question just to get back sort of on track?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, I mean, let me ask you this. You said that you came from a family, or maybe you can correct me if I misheard. You said that you came from a family that's largely, if not entirely, like pro Trump.
Yeah.
What kind of area did you grow up in?
Um, Middle of the U.S. I don't specifically want to like name
Yeah, yeah,
states.
yeah. No, you're totally fine. So like kind of like Midwestern, like mostly like kind of.
Yeah, Midwestern. Between anywhere from I've moved states. I've gone through Colorado all the way
Mhm.
to Georgia. So
Okay. Yeah, no, I totally.
um,
I think I get that. I mean, I grew up in Ohio, and I lived in like Tennessee and
I was
Arkansas
born
for
in
a while.
Ohio.
Oh, really? Oh, hey, Ohio people, what's happening? Yeah,
Yeah, I wish I was born in Minnesota. Minnesota is just so much more interesting.
yeah, I get that. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, like, I get it. I think I kind of understand like your family. It sounds a lot like my family actually. Insofar as like, when I was growing up around them, like for example, they would always describe themselves, and maybe this is like the way that your family describes themselves. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but the way that my family describes themselves are economically conservative and socially progressive, right? That's usually the key turn of phrase, which usually means that they end up voting conservative, because that's kind of like the thing that ends up in their construction in their mind, kind of making the most sense, right? They would view people on the left as too far, or too radical, or all that yada yada. Um, and I used to be like that a lot too, right? Like I was, I was raised in that mentality. I had that, Um, and really, it wasn't changed until I ended up leaving and going and living in the major city. Like, have you ever lived in like a major city? Like somewhere in the U.S., like a Detroit or like a. I lived in Memphis for a while. I don't know if you live somewhere like there. Or like, I don't know. Have you ever had to like live in any of those kind of environments? Just out of curiosity.
Kansas, yes.
Oh, nice. So what was it like when you kind of like moved to like a larger city?
So it was very unappealing. I moved recently, like less than a year ago, and during like the basically like the offshoots of COVID, not offshoots, the start of COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and um, it was the first time I've ever been in a big city out of like just my own social groups and traveling back and forth between museums and uh, constantly trying to find a university to settle down in, but I
Mm,
still haven't found one. And I had seen big cities, but I never really interacted with one
yeah.
until like recently, between Kansas and Missouri,
Mm,
specifically St. Louis and Fredonia. Um, Seeing all the political drama just really got me into it.
yeah.
And
No, there's a lot of it. Cities are
yes,
usually. Well, I mean, like when you're coming from like a more kind of suburban Midwest, very typical kind of town. Sometimes politics is talked about out there, but usually it's more in the ways that in the same kind of way that people talk about sports teams, right? Like just because, and practically speaking, most people who live out in those kind of Midwestern towns like are not going to be affected that much by national elections, right? Like for the most part, and people will make like arguments that like, oh well, certain policies in the economy might affect people. Like the only like policies that Trump has implemented that have helped in the like in an economic way is that like, and I'm not even sure what policies he's implemented to do this. Stocks have gone up under him, and people like that.
I think it depends. I know that I don't think I think there's a site that has all the policies and executive orders that he's ever put in.
Okay.
Um,
Trump.
I can link it. I think
Yeah.
I
Let's
have
see.
one.
I'm gonna look up economic policy of the. Let's see. All right. Here's a full list of Donald Trump's executive orders. How long is this? Okay. Let's see. Executive order minimalizing the economic burden of the Patent Protection and Affordable Care Act. Reversing the Affordable Care Act. Seek prompt repeal of the law. Oh, well, I mean, that's just saying that they're going to. I don't think that they've actually done this, right? Like they
Yeah.
keep talking. Like again, they've talked about this since the beginning, but it actually hasn't resulted in anything. Expenditure.
Executive on if you look up executive order minimizing the economic burden of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Well, I mean,
Oh, that's the one.
yeah, this is the one.
Okay, yeah, that's actually at like the top. I'm so smart.
No, you're all good. Expediting environmental reviews and approvals for higher priority infrastructure projects.
Oh wow, he hasn't even done this one.
Which one? The healthcare one?
Yeah, executive order minimizing the economic burden of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act.
Yeah. No, he just like it's basically saying we're gonna do this eventually. Yeah, we'll get right on to it.
Yeah.
And then 4 years later, this order
Are
outlines how...
this is a weird question.
Mhm.
Are you ContraPoint?
I am not ContraPoints, no.
Okay, I'm
You're all good. It's
I looked up I'm trying to figure out who you are because I just stepped into like this completely random.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Listen, that's the weird part of the internet is that sometimes people in my chat are laughing. No, it's actually funny for a couple reasons.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry if that was like a bad question.
No. It's actually it's just funny.
Well,
it's just, and not for like a bad reason. Natalie, we know each other. We're familiar. But yeah,
yeah.
Like I know who ContraPoints is.
Because isn't ContraPoints, isn't her name Riley? Or I don't know if
it's Natalie.
It's not. Well, okay, so
they have the E at the end, like the E sound.
I'm trying to figure out who you are. I just stepped into like this random Discord because
my name is Riley Grace Roshong. I'm smaller. I'm much smaller than Natalie. I'm like on YouTube. I have like 14K subs.
Yeah, I'll go 1K. I'll go put a sub.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
But yeah, because I was actually just looking for the official Elder Scrolls stream, and I tried typing in. Yeah, I tried typing in chat. I tried typing in chat like, "Why are you reading from the New York Times?" Because I had just joined, and you were talking about like the polls.
Mm-hmm.
Not the polls specifically on like whenever you do your actual voting.
Mm-hmm.
And
like
I was
the exit polls. Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt so concited because you were reading from the New York the New York Times, and I'm like, oh my god, no, at least it's not the Onion. But and then like,
and then one thing leads to another, and hey,
yeah, I thought I saw your name Riley, and I this is gonna sound like really, if I know like a lot of like trans people don't like being compared to other trans people because I've heard
Riley
of another.
Riley is a common name. Let's not beat around the bush. It is a common name.
I thought you were a completely different political like trans streamer.
It's completely.
But no, like,
wait, did you think I was like Riley J. Dennis or?
Yes.
Oh my god! Of course you did.
That's the only one I've heard of that was Riley and that I could think of. But now I'm trying to find out who you are.
Yeah, Riley Grace Roshong. Again, smaller, but you know, I'm here. I'm vibing. I'm doing my own thing. That's usually why I go by. So like, I also go by RGR or Riley Grace Roshong. Like usually I'll not just like my friends call me Riley, right? Or like you can call me Riley. That's fine. But yeah, like normally, like as far as like my like larger, oh hey, and someone posted my stuff in chat. So yeah.
Yeah, I was actually looking for it.
Yeah, but I mean, like as far as like how I brand myself, usually I go with my full name. But yes, no, I am not Natalie. I am not ContraPoints. We do know each other. Decently.
Oh, you don't like Steven Crowder? That's not. I fucking hate Steven Crowder. He's so dumb.
Oh yeah. Wait, where did I say that? But yeah, no, I don't like Steven. No, I'm not exactly a fan. A lot of my a lot of the content that I do is like kind of um I don't know, like my whole bit is evidence-based arguments for advocating and defending civil rights.
Yeah.
Like I don't necessarily have, I don't know. Like if you were to ascribe like a political label to me, the best label would probably be based on the aggregate of my views, like suck them, just by like by European and American standard, or I don't know, it depends on where in Europe you're talking about. But like I generally try to stay away from labels, and I just kind of let people ascribe them to me based on my, what I believe, because like usually like when I believe something or I argue for a position, it's because I've done the research and I've kind of like reasoned myself into it, Like I don't like
Yeah.
advocating for something just because I feel like it or I've heard from someone. Also because I'm a law student and that kind of forces me to think like that. So like for example, like something that you like, again, like you mentioned earlier, you said you'd heard a lot about the nature of what's happening at the border. Well, like that's a logical fallacy, right? That's hearsay. And like that would be inadmissible in the court of law, because it's like you're basically just taking someone else's word for the truth of the matter asserted without
Oh
any
yeah.
actual proof of it, right? And so like, if there is like proof that like, oh yeah, there's tons of rapists or murderers crossing the border that we totally have to be worried about, like that's a different story. But like it just doesn't really seem to be, I mean, like it seems to be an overblown problem, and to the extent that it isn't overblown, it seems like the responses have been like drastically disproportionate to the actual severity of the situation.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
it's
I
generally my opinion on like that.
yeah. Yeah, media and specifically Trump in particular likes to overblow a lot of things. I kind of feel weird saying this, but that's a reason why I've always liked a lot of the campaigns and
Oh,
uh,
you like the idea? You like the fact that he kind of like overblows things?
yeah.
Okay,
Um,
that's interesting. No, I mean, like I'm interested in hearing about it. So, like, can you explain that? Again, I'm not trying to like bully you or whatever.
not
But
yeah,
yeah.
not so basically I just got into politics about 2 months ago. Really got into politics.
Okay.
And mainly because I was kind of getting bored with no one liking my own interests, specifically like archaeology and astrology, and no one literally cares about that anymore. They
Yeah.
only care about politics. So I started to get into politics, and one thing I would like to focus on was Trump and a lot of his can't like his awful camp. A lot of them are pretty awful, but some of them, when he's like, a lot of them, like when he's straight to the point, uh, and like has all these amazing, uh, like all this amazing confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought was like a cool thing, because the only reason I'm following politicians right now is mainly for the 2020 election before I move out.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to kind of get into politics a little bit, so that's why I said I'm a trans Trump supporter, not a trans Trump voter,
Mm-hmm.
because I would never vote for anyone.
Okay.
Uh, Mainly because just don't want to go towards that. Want to go to education rather than trying to get into politics. But um, I don't know.
No, I mean, like I think that makes a lot of sense, right? We were looking at some of the like the exit poll data, and overwhelmingly, like there was a question about like what's the most important. Oh wait, hold on, I still have the tab open. Here, let me see if I can find it. This president has the temperament.
There's a lot of things about confidence on the polls.
Oh yeah, no, there's a ton of them, but there was like one in particular that really stuck out to me in regards to this. Oh wait, hold on.
Someone said trans guy, Trump supporter, casual convo.
Yeah, casual convo. Yeah, all right, here's one. Which one of these four candidate qualities mattered most in deciding how you voted for the president? So
Is a
like
strong.
yeah, is a strong leader, right? Like overwhelmingly that's how people who voted for him voted, right? And I talked about this a little bit, right? Because I do think that's like the strongest appeal that he has, right? And I feel like he appeals to like this visceral need that a lot of the country has for like a strong leader, right?
Yeah.
The thing is that, like, for me, I don't know, that's not like a it's not like a political quality. Like, if you want to say that he has that over Biden, I mean, like, I think that there's like a decent argument for it.
Yeah, but
But like that's an
that
appeal to
doesn't
like,
matter.
yeah, it's like an appeal to pathos, you know. It's like an appeal to like an emotional
Yeah. No,
like
that's an emotional
desire.
thing. That I never
Yeah,
look at those. I never look at those specifically.
yeah, but I mean, like, I like it. Yeah, it's I understand that like he really does have like this aura of confidence. Let me ask you comparatively, how'd you feel about like Bernie, or how do you feel about Bernie Sanders? Because I think that there's like an analogy to draw, at least in some regards, on that quality. I'm interested how you feel about him and like similar
Um,
politicians.
Never looked into Bernie Sanders.
Okay,
Bernie Sanders.
I mean, like it's somewhat all right. So I mean, like just like I don't
I've
know.
only got into it recently, specifically
Mhm.
Trump and Joe Biden, because of my family supporting Trump.
Yeah.
Uh,
So all right, so actually because we're coming up on the hour, this might be like a good point to kind of like leave, and I don't know, maybe we can chat again. Um
okay.
because basically um
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like get off and figure out who you are because I'm so confused.
yeah, hey, no, you're totally fine. And yeah, if you want to like you can always hit me up in the email or in the Discord. But yeah, like basically I think that like like if you do want to get more into politics, right? I'm not trying to mislead you. Like if you want to go on and continue being, a Trump supporter and all that, then you can go live out your dream. I think that what it might be good for you to do is just to learn about other politicians who share this quality. You're going to find politicians who share this quality across both sides of the aisle. Um,
Yeah.
I would caution you to be a little hesitant on whether or not you ascribe your support of someone based on that quality. Just because it is like someone could have really bad ideas and still otherwise be a very strong and charismatic person, right?
Yeah.
Like
That's what I'm
yeah, like a lot of people who support Trump, like we know that overwhelmingly he got a lot of support. It's not like it was a blowout. Like he got a lot of support in this election, and there are a lot of people who voted for him, and a lot of people voted for him, at least in part, because they see him as a strong leader, right? Because they see him as like
yeah.
this charismatic person, right? And that's a dangerous kind of snake oil. It might make you think that he has like all the solutions, but being a strong person does not make a good president.
Yeah, I should probably go back and kind of reassess um because now I'm actually like well I'm a bit confused and I've never really
Mhm.
I don't want to blame my family in particular
Mhm.
but never really like reached out to other politicians mainly because they just never interest me, but now that you mention it yeah I probably should but I've never really seen anyone who is specifically going after trans rights other than uh, Bernie. I think Bernie said a couple, and Joe Biden,
Well, I
maybe.
mean, there
I may be
are
wrong.
a good number. Actually, in case you haven't, like, I'm just based on what you told me, you might not know about this. There are a couple actually prominent trans, like openly trans politicians. Danica Rome is a pretty widely known state legislator for, I believe, it's the state of Virginia. And we just had elected our first federal senator. I can't remember the state, but our first senator who's an open trans woman. So that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, Pog and all that.
In
Um,
Ohio?
I'm trying to. Was it in Ohio? I don't think it's Ohio. I'm not giving that much credit to Ohio. I think it's somewhere over on the East
Oh,
Coast.
well, you
Um,
said senator, so
but yeah. So it's like another state senator. So
yeah,
it wouldn't be Ohio, but it would be,
definitely
whatever.
not Kansas.
Yeah, definitely not Kansas. Or maybe they were. I don't know. I don't have the. Oh, Delaware. Delaware. Is where she's the senator over at. But yeah, I mean, like, one thing that I'll definitely advocate for you to do, if you want to, is that like what I try to do with my community is like on my Discord. And hey, maybe this is the pitch to people who are watching right now. If you want to join, basically what we try to do on my Discord is we're pursuing knowledge here. you said you're pursuing archaeology. That's actually really cool because we have a lot of people pursuing a lot of other crafts. We have some people who are pursuing math PhDs. We have some people who are pursuing like degrees or pursuing careers in music. We have some people who are pursuing careers in like online web design and web technology. We have just like a lot. We have someone who's like teaching like a graduate course on some kind of science class, and I feel really bad for not remembering. We have historians in here, like a lot of cool people. So I don't know. You might probably be people who are interested in talking to you about that.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
looking through the server, and it actually is pretty interesting. I mean, I've got so many Discord servers, but I can
Yeah,
add
yeah,
another
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but more importantly, like first and foremost, I like to joke that this is mainly an ESO server because I like the idea of being an ESO streamer. I don't know, I like the game. I enjoy it. It brings me joy. But also like we do talk politics, right? So if you want to learn more, I trust my community, and I'm telling you, community, right now, you better be on your best behavior. But no, like they are like they're politically inclined, but also like I don't know, there's some servers where people like bully you around for having like specific views, but they're pretty but like they're really cool people.
Yeah, I don't have a single server in my entire like 80 Discord fucking servers that actually allow political talk.
Oh well, hey, this is
This is
specifically
my yeah, this
political
is my
talk. Yeah.
first yeah, this is my first like political discussion since high school.
Oh damn. Yeah, well hey, I mean like, this is it's sort of my job, I mean like damn.
Well, that's neat. It's nice to meet you. I mean,
Yeah.
even if it was a little weird at the beginning, I'm just some random internet dude who like said in the chat,
You're
"Fucking,
you're
I'm
not
a
the
trans."
first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like trying to see if there were any like Trump supporters because I was trying to. It was political. It was political, and I was reading through, and I said, "I'm a trans Trump supporter," and I was trying to like get discussion, but then it turned into something else.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, that's how the night goes over, right? When the old trick RGR into playing Hunt. All right. But yeah, so totally stick around, and yeah, if you want to try it again sometime when it's not about to be when it's not 3 a.m. my time, then yeah, let's make it happen. All right.
Okay, so is it 3 a.m. for you? Jesus,
Yeah, it is
I'm
3
so
a.m. for
sorry.
me. Yeah. Hey, listen, it's fine. This is no, this is a good conversation. I'm glad that we had it. All right. Well, hey, I'm gonna hang up, so I'll talk to you later. All right.
Okay, thanks. It was very nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well.
I enjoyed the little talk.
Yeah, no, it's a good time. All right, talk to you later. Bye.
Yep. Bye.